Hi everybody, and welcome to another part of the JavaScript tutorials. In this part we're going to create another project here with the API and using the front-end UI UX design of Arashtad. So in this part we're going to use the IP location API so that we can get the flag of the country that we are in, and the country capital, the city, and all other kinds of data that we may want to include inside of our cart. So this project is nearly the same as the previous project that we have had on API that was related to IMDb movies. So here we're again using the cards.html from the Arashtad templates of Sci-Fi-Games-UI-Elements-Pack. So I will give the link to inside of the description so that you can download it or git clone the project and then be able to make the necessary changes in order to create this kind of box related to your IP location. This kind of web application is very much useful when you want to, for example, have a VPN or create a web application related to a VPN and change the IP and see all the different data related to that specific location. So the kind of API that we will use here is the IP geolocation. I will also give the link inside of the description. And what you need to do in order to get an API key is to sign up. So here I will sign up. So I think I've signed up because I've done this before and I think I can sign in right now. So but anyway, if you want to sign up, you can put a name and the email and all other data that are necessary. Here I can continue with Google and with my email. So here I will see whether I have signed in or not, and so now I can sign in with my email, and after a few seconds now I've logged in with my email, and as you can see I've got this API key which I can use inside of my project. And by the way, I have written this project, but don't worry, I will restart the project and you can follow along line by line to see what will happen. So I can run this with the live server, and the result that you will see is the result that I've shown you. So now let's get into our browser and git clone the project right over here. So let me copy, and so here switch to the terminal, open up the new terminal, cd back to the root directory, and then let's create a directory here first. I can call this IP location. So cd2 IP location, and then git clone. The project, and after a few seconds we'll have the project ready, and now we can run code space dot in order to open up the new window related to the new project here. So let's close the previous window or make this bigger. Now right over here, first of all, the template, instead of our templates folder, we will have a lot of HTML codes. The one that we're going to work with is the cars.html, but we're going to keep it just the way it is, and we're going to copy this and paste it right over here, rename this, and here we can write IP location. There we go. And so we can use this cars.html template. So the first thing we need to do here is to remove everything we've got here from the class spacer20 up to main here, and remove all of them. So we're gonna add some other template codes which I will explain how to do that, and we're gonna write a bunch of JavaScript codes here instead of the scripts tags. So we don't have to remove these script tags. However, if you want to, there will be nothing wrong about that. So script, and there we go. So the API key, first of all, let's define the API key here, const API key equals to, so let's paste in the API key that we've got from this website. There we go. And let's save this. And then what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna add the HTML code that I want. So here, let me close this so I can paste it right over here. I will explain what's happening here instead of the spacer 20. But right now let's focus on the rest of the project. Also notice that what we need to do here is to add a custom.css file, because we're going to add some extra styles here. .css, and so let's save this. Let's click enter and save this. So I will paste in the necessary style sheets that we need. Here there are some classes, so we'll use this instead of our HTML code. So you will see that there are some of them right over here. So I will explain them one by one, but right now let's focus on the JavaScript part of our code. So now the next thing we need to do here instead of our JavaScript code, as you can remember, we got the API, so that once we've got our API, our IP actually, then we will be able to see what are the details of that specific country. But let us find a kind of an API, or a kind of a a kind of an API, and so that we can find the IP that we are writing. So I've got an address, and I will add it right over here. So this is another JSON file which will give you the IP that you are in, and then once you get the IP, you can check the specifications of that country that you're looking for. So I'm gonna use this inside of my code. But now let's get into our editor. So what I'm gonna do first, after defining the API key, is to define an async function. And then here we're going to get the we're going to name it IP location, and then API key inside of it. So here what we're going to do first is to first get the IP using that link. So const my IP address equals to, so here we'll use the fetch again, so await and fetch. So here it will use that address, which will give us the IP that we want. So the next step is to get the JSON file. So const my IP, and then I can make this equal to await again my IP API, or my IP address here, and so here we'll get the JSON file. So the next step that we're gonna do, so notice that this is an API that gives us the IP that we were in. So let me first of all leave a comment here, get IP, and then what we're gonna do is to the next step that we're gonna do is to get the IP location API using the key we were given. So here let's define this const IP location API, and make this equal to await fetch. So again, we're using fetch for getting the API, and here we need an address containing the API and also that the IP that we are in. So we'll use the backticks here. So let me paste in and explain what we've done. So we need the backtick here, and instead of the API key we will use this variable API key that we've defined, and also my IP. So we've got the API key and our IP, so it will enter those data and it will return us the kind of data that we're looking for regarding that country. So we'll define const my IP, my IP location, or we can say IP location info, IP location info, and make this equal to await IP location. So we've got this IP location API, the JSON. This is a JSON file. So we will get the JSON data from it by using .json. So let me get this and .json. And then the next step is to then we will define another function where we will get the JSON data and get the kind of data from it that we want, such as the country name, the capital of that country, the city that we're in, and the country flag. And then we will show them in the DOM elements. So I will define another function, but first of all we need to call that function. So presented IP location in DOM, and then IP location info instead of it. IP location info there. So let us check if we've missed anything. So there we go. So this is the IP location info. Now let's define another function for our presented data. So we've got the necessary data from the JSON file, so we're going to use that in order to get other specific data. So function presented IP location in DOM, IP location in DOM. So it's gonna get the IP location info, IP location info here, and so let's open the function, and then we will get the const, so country name, and then IP location info dot country name. So there we go. And by the way, you might wonder what kind of data that we've got instead of the IP location info. So here I can just comment out all these lines, and here we can get the data of it using console log. So IP location info. So let's save this and run it with the live server. There we go. So let's inspect the elements, and so by the way, these are the default values. This is the Germany country. So this is because we've got this inside of our HTML code. And let's see if there are any errors. So here, in order to get the data of that JSON, you need to make small changes. You need to add the function IP location with the API key, and then afterwards you will be able to see all the necessary information about the country you're in. So it's Amsterdam, Netherlands, and all the kind of data that you may want. So there we go. We can get any one of these data that we were looking for, the city and the country capital, and so all other information, and also the country flag. So there's a link to the country flag as well, so we can use all of these in order to get the necessary data. So as you can see, we've done so, and here we've got the const country name like this, and so we can continue this by adding other features such as the country city, the country capital, so const country capital equals to IP location and IP location info dot country capital. So the other thing we need to add is the city name, const city name, which is equal to IP location info dot city name, and so the next one we will need is the country flag. So const country flag, and then IP location info dot country flag. There we go. So now the next thing we need to do is to add all of these data to the DOM elements. So here, instead of our HTML code, we've got some places for adding these data. So by default, the kind of data we've added is related to the country Germany, and this city here in Germany, which I cannot pronounce this, probably Gonsenhausen or something like that. So we've got the city, the country capital, and you need to replace all of these DOM elements with the kind of data that you want. So here we've got the Germany as the country, so country name and mx4. This is the name of the class. So here we'll get document dot query selector all, query selector, and so query selector, and here country and flag, and then dot src, because this is related to an image. So the src is country flag, and then another one, document dot query selector all, or query selector actually, again, and dot country name, so country name, and then dot inner HTML, and make this equal to country name. There we go. And also notice that another thing we need here is, so let's look here, what else do we need? So we've got the country name, the country capital, and so we've got the flag here. So I think we've added it somewhere. So anyway, and so here is the country flag, as you can see, and then we can add an alt as well. This is not necessary. So the country capital, the city, and so on. So let's look at the API that we've got: the city, the country capital, and the country. So for the capital city, we have country capital, documents dot query selector all, and then we'll have the capital, so country capital dot inner HTML, which equals to country capital. There we go. And then another document dot query selector, and then here we've got the class city name for the city name, city underline name dot inner HTML, which equals to city name. There we go. So let's save this and let's take a look at what we've got here. So it takes some time for this to refresh, or let's rerun this to make sure everything's fine. And there we go. We've got the flag of Netherlands, we've got the country name, the country capital, and the city name. So the city name is undefined here. Let's see what is the problem. It's probably the class name, city name here, and city name here dot city name here. So let's take a look at the console and see that the JSON that we've got is the city name. So let's take a look at the object that we've got here, and we've got the city. So it's not the city name, it's city, and so there it is. So let's save this, take a look at here, and as you can see, we've got the name of the city as well. So that's it. We've managed to create a card containing the country's information. You can add other information such as the currency of the country and so on. And so that's generally it. It was a good practice to learn the document elements and also be able to manipulate those data and also be able to fetch the data. And notice that here we've used the async function as well. So that's it for this tutorial, and goodbye.